The third morning saw us on the water and through the rip before daylight. The northerly wind had picked up, the offshore blow making the seas choppy, but conditions were fishable. Everyone was keen this morning to get into sharks, and my fishing buddy Richard Carr had come out to join the fun. Finding sharks, even Makos, is the easy part. The problem for fly rodders is finding toothies that fit the comfort zone in terms of size. Bass Strait Makos, because of the numbers from 15 kilos to 50 kilos, fit the bill nicely. One of the few sharks regarded as a true game species, a Mako in full flight is an awesome spectacle. Explosive takes and supercharged runs are sometimes capped off with aerial displays of somersaults, often twice or three times their body length, out of the water. Meaner than a junkyard dog, these black-eyed speed machines wear the label Blue Dynamite. Peter went out to 64 metres, then motored inshore until he found the 60-metre drop-off. The belly was pumped, and with the wind we were moving along steadily, establishing a trail that flattened the sea in our wake. It was Peter who spotted the speeding demon first. The Mako came roaring into the wake, right up to the stern of the boat. The decks were cleared for action, and the sea anchor brought him board. It was my turn on the first shark. I decided that if an oversized pink thing was good enough for Harrow, then it would do me. It was overcast, so white was probably as good a colour as any. It can be difficult to see dark flies in the water when the sun is behind the clouds.
Big Harry, we're still here. Yeah, he's still here.
Aggressive by nature, this shark had no hesitation in taking the fly as soon as it saw it. Hook up, then the fly came out. Woohoo! The hardest thing about sharks on the fly is getting the point of the hook home, even when you have just honed the point. Shark skin is tough, and there is a lot of hard cartilage around the jaw. But this shark wasn't going anywhere, so I had another shot.
Look at that, Welly goes away on it.
I felt it.
Yeah, you really got to.
He's coming at it again, Steve. He's just taking it. He just let it go.
Still got it. Okay, get him now.
The take was hard and came with a rush. The rod tip bouncing isn't a drag problem. That's the reel handle bouncing off my wrist at 100 miles an hour. The Mako went ballistic. More than 250 metres of line out, and it blew the water away.
He took that off the line. That's an interesting Oh! That's as good a run as I've seen. You might have to get going.
Alright, fire up the motor, Ben.
What a run as I've seen. Jesus Christ, that run was bloody unspilled the sail.
Oh! He's out again.
Alright, that's a 3, Steve.
Someone kept the burley going.
That's as good a run as I've seen.
I'd hooked what turned out to be a 40 kilo Mako, and this wasn't going to be a one-sided fight. The shark was a goer, and I was running out of line fast. Peter fired up the engine, and we gave chase.
Mako about 40.
How else?
Yep, how else? Twice.
First.
Twice. Still on there?
Yeah.
Don't know. I think he's off.
Oh, no.
Then the line went slack.
Right.
He'll be back. No, he's still there.
The shark was running hard in a long arc that must have covered several hundred metres. I was doing a catch-up. 15 metres into the fight, and it was time to get the coat off and settle down to some hard work. I couldn't imagine this scene even 10 years ago. This style of fishing, where the game fish retains the advantage, demands that the fishermen know the limits of the light tackle and carefully play the fish to the side of the boat. Dragging in a fighting game fish with a car towing cable now seems to me to miss the point of fishing.
Is that what they do?
That saltwater fly fishing is one of the fastest growing angling pursuits in the world. It's no surprise. Just about any fish that swims is a potential capture. It's just a matter of developing flies and techniques that suit both the fish and the conditions. Fly fishing is not normally the most efficient or productive way of catching fish, and it's a very expensive way of getting food. But then I'm not about catching the food, nor do I want to kill the biggest fish using military-grade fishing tackle. I don't need to be ready to haul up the Titanic. I want a fine line, like a telephone connection, to feel the fish's fight and so know exactly when to give and take. 30 minutes of hard slogging and the shark is near the boat. I got the fly line on the reel and then the battle changed. I could feel the shark rolling and twisting, and then I felt the fly dislodge just before the Mako took off again. Up until then it was no one-sided battle. A hot 40 kilo Mako on a 13 weight fly outfit isn't a straightforward proposition. Some sharks, like some fish, fight more easily than others. This one wasn't one of those. It took off again, and we gave chase. The wind speed fluctuated, and the sea conditions ranged from lumpy to choppy. Big Red was being pushed around, and I was having trouble keeping my balance. There was other action as well. First one, then two, then three blue sharks moved into the burley trail and began following us. One of the sharks was a monster, about 4 metres long. Now, in a smallish boat 15 k's from the land, the arrival of a number of sharks alerts you to certain feelings about mortality. Like a lot of my generation, I grew up in fear and awe of sharks. The shark, all sharks, were the dangerous unknown, an unknowable prehistoric animal which was powerful, fast, and focused solely on killing. It was the stuff of nightmares. In the sun-baked country of my youth, sharks used to eat people, and when we were kids we were told not to swim alone, or too far from shore, or take a dog in the water with us, lest we too be eaten. An hour of this with the shark near the boat another couple of times, and the strain was starting to show. I had difficulty maintaining my balance as I was continually forced to move from one side of the rocking boat to the other. Wearing thongs didn't help either. Richard, who'd spent a lot of the time maintaining the burley trail, saw the problem and stood behind to steady me. When you pump a fish with a fly rod, there is no lifting power until the rod is fully loaded. This can mean allowing the rod tip to go into the water to get maximum load in a straight up lift.
Hour and a half, mate. Just keep going round on him. Big blue. Pulled this in. Shot on the gap, rod.
An hour and a half and that shark was finally on the surface, and I was able to bring him within gaff range, where Ben leaned over and did the honours. This Mako turned out to be 8 kilos, over the established world record for a Mako caught on a 10 kilo tippet saltwater fly rod. And it was to be duly rewarded. We took it home and ate it. It was amazing how such a strong animal could have such a delicate flavour. It wasn't the least bit oily, In fact, it tasted a lot like baked chicken breast.